Let's work on keeping each other productive. That's right. Today, we're going to be talking about how to build a writing routine that works for you because a writing routine is unique for every writer. We all have our own little quirks, and finding one that works specifically for you is a process that will involve trying new things, adjusting, and failing to succeed. Now, I have seven, that's right, seven practical tips. That's right. On how to understand, how to find, and realizing what your preferences are, setting actionable goals, and finding a balance in your daily life to give you a head start on figuring out what will work best for you when it comes to your writing routine. So let's get into it. We're going to talk about creating a writing routine that works for you. And I'm going to give you these seven lovely tips. Okay. Seven. You're going to get seven lovely tips. All right. There we go. Is that good? Looks like my hair is getting gray. All right. Here we go. Understanding your writing preferences. Each and every one of us writers, we have habits and they are different. So we need to understand what works best for us within those habits. However, it's okay to challenge those habits. It's okay to push against what we feel comfortable on so we could discover if something new would be beneficial. Now, I would also recommend if you're going to try something new, don't do it once and be like, this isn't for me. Give it some time because a true habit develops over like what it is 21 days or whatever. So you have to kind of give it a little bit of effort and really work hard at it. And when I say 21 days, I don't mean like I did it on Monday and then I waited 21 days and then was like it didn't work for me, but I only did it that one day. Now you got to do it 21 days. All right? So you have to think to yourself, figure out where you're at right now as a writer. Are you more productive in the early mornings or are you better at night? Do you prefer writing long or short bursts? Do you enjoy uninterrupted sessions? Now, why is this important? Well, because they'll help you figure out your natural writing rhythm and it'll help you create your routine. Now, take note of when you feel most creative and focused, and try to schedule a writing time during these periods. The more aligned your routine is with your personal preferences, the easier it will be to stick to it. Now, the reason I talk about night or day or being interrupted, etc., sometimes writers, Brandon Sanderson has been interviewed and said that sometimes he'll write in the wee hours of the night, or you could say the really early mornings because he writes anywhere between 12 midnight and 4 a.m. when everyone's asleep. You don't get emails, you don't get phone calls. There's nothing to distract you. Life is pretty much sleep. So he could just focus. I like to write at night. It's just because I get the entire day out of me, and then finally I have some time. No one's really going to be messaging me. I found that if I write during the day, like right now it's like noon. I'm filming this at noon. If I write around now to like say 5, I'm going to keep getting emails. I'm going to get messages and stuff like that. My father gave me advice once, said, you should shut all your electronics off and just focus on what you're doing. And then I realized in my line of my industry, my line of work, I need to be available for people because I'm somebody that makes things happen. I'm somebody who can do things for people. I'm a mentor to some others. So I decided that, you know what? I feel more alive at night anyway. So I'm going to ignore writing my personal stuff in the morning, in the afternoon, right? So I like to eat, have dinner, relax a little bit, and then I jump onto my writing sessions. So you have to think about what works for you and where you get the most time to kind of just play around. Also, my breathing, I'm having a little trouble today. So if it takes me a second, I got to do these. If I yawn, it's all the lungs. It's because I'm not getting enough air. Restrictive lung disease. All right. 2, set clear and achievable goals. One of the biggest obstacles to productivity is setting unrealistic expectations that lead to burnout or frustration. Instead, you should think about clear, specific, and achievable goals that help you build momentum. It's easier to write down 300 words a day or 300 words every other day than for 5,000 words in a day or 3,000 words in a day. Or some people have trouble with 500 words a day, which is basically like a page and a half, right? But you could also say, maybe I just want to get a scene. Now, starting small will always help you, and being consistent to that smallness will lead to a large progress. Now, I will add this much. If you've watched this channel, I'm sure you've heard me somewhere, somehow say that I don't actually try to get X amount of words done or a scene done or a chapter done. I have a time block that is dedicated to different tasks throughout the day. The writing block is no less than an hour, but no more than 2 hours. And every day I have a 2 hour time block, and I will write for an hour to 2 hours. Okay. And whatever I do in that time, be it edit, clean up, notate, brainstorm, kind of look through my notes, that's what that time is for. And as long as I do that, I have that on a daily, that's 7 days a week. As long as I do that every day, I am making progress, because it's not about finishing things. It's about consistently doing things, even if it's a little at a time. If you're trying to finish things, you'll get to a point where there's nothing left to do. And therefore, what are you actually doing? There's an old saying, a to-do list, nothing on a to-do list means there's nothing else going on. So you always want your to-do list to be filled, and you always want to be working on something, whatever it is. And what that mentality of going, I'll just work for an hour, and whatever I do in that hour for this task is good, allows you to really focus on doing the thing and not necessarily going, well, I didn't get my 300 words in today, I failed. No, I wrote today for an hour. Success. All right. 3, create a comfortable writing space. I'm a self-diagnosed OCD. I like things clean and organized, and everything is like in its place. I don't like clutter. So one of the things that helps me write is to make sure that I'm not paying attention to things, and I'm like, oh, this is out of place, or this is out of place. Right? I like everything to sort of be in order. I'm okay if it's not, like, if I'm not by my work desk, but my work desk is my work desk. So I try to keep it as clean as possible. Your environment can, and most likely will, have a huge impact on your ability to focus and be productive. You want to create a writing space that's comfortable and free from distractions. It doesn't need to be fancy, just a place where you feel at ease and ready to work. Personalize it with things that inspire you, like books, plants, or quotes that keep you motivated. When you consistently use the same space to write, your brain begins to associate that environment with focus and creativity, making it easier to get into the writing mindset. I also have behind this red carpet, the red sheet, 3 whiteboards attached to my wall, and I use that to brainstorm. I just write down ideas and I just let things kind of flow. Sometimes I use the computer too, but when I'm brainstorming, I just like to throw out ideas, sloppy handwriting, whatever. And that really helps me. So my whole environment is designed for creativity, and it's clean, and everything is accessible, from the markers to whatever, the rulers to my computer. I got 4 screens, so I could have different potential notes over them. So it's all for that. I purposefully designed my area for that. 4, develop rituals to get into the writing mindset. Get it? Develop rituals to get into the right mindset. Come on, that's a plug. By the way, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Okay, rituals can help signal to the brain that it is indeed time to write. This could be something as simple as making a cup of tea, listening to a specific playlist, or spending 5 minutes journaling before diving into your project, right? Now, these small routines act as cues that tell your brain it's time to sit down and get in business and transition into writing mode. Developing these rituals can make it easier to overcome the resistance that push backs at you from getting started, especially on days when motivation feels low. What is my writing ritual? Well, I eat my breakfast. I sit down and watch a couple of YouTube videos, or I'll watch one episode of a show. I let myself digest a little bit. Then I do the shower. I get dressed. I'm up, and then I sit down and I start my day. When I start my day, I go through my work stuff. I go through my tasks from network market practice to dealing with client stuff to doing my stocks and bonds, right? And then, as I said earlier, I'll take some personal. I'll take a break. I'll do the dishes, whatever. Now I'm taking my mind away from the fact that I was overwhelming it with work. Then I eat some dinner. Then I take an hour break where I just do nothing. And that nothing could be watching an episode, whatever the case may be. And because I clean out my whole day from my brain, I sit down. I open up all the screens to have everything that I need. And then I just sit there and I know that I'm ready for the 2 hours. And I set my clock and I go. And then I don't pay attention to the time. As soon as I have an alarm thing that sticks on the whiteboards, it's magnetic. And it goes off. It goes beep, 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 beep. And I turn around, I click it, and I'm done. So that's my ritual. I do that every day. That's how I do my entire day. Another thing, you should be flexible. Be flexible and forgiving with yourself. Life is going to happen, and there will be days when your routine doesn't go as planned, and it's important to remain flexible and forgive yourself when you can't do something because you were interrupted. Instead of feeling guilty for missing a writing session, take it as an opportunity to adjust and find what works better, or just write it off that day. Get it? Write it off. Writing routine should be adaptable to your changing needs, not rigid structures that add unnecessary stress. The goal is to create a sustainable habit that supports your writing in the long term, even if it requires some trial and error to get there. This is another reason why I have my writing at night, and it's the same time every single day. And the reason I do that is to create the habit of, it is my writing time. But I have it at night because I'm less likely to be interrupted. Because during the day, I'll get the phone calls. During the day, people will want to visit me. Right? So I'll have meetings. I might go out to dinner, or I might do whatever. When I go to the movies, I always go during the day. I like between 11 and 3. Anything later than that, I probably won't go see the movie. The reason is because I just like to enjoy the movie without or people talking, people on the phone. I just want to be there and enjoy the movie, right? So everything I do is always during the day, and that means I will have less distraction or chance of disruption at a later time. However, if somebody visits me, like for example, I have friends that visit me from other states. They come here and they stay for the week. I will not write. I won't do anything. I won't do any of my schedule because people come first. That's the rule that always trumps everything else. People come first because the people are what make things happen in this world, from joy to opening doors. All right. Track your progress. Tracking your progress can be incredibly motivating. Keep a journal, use a calendar, or try a writing app to log your word count. Yeah, time spent writing or milestones reached. I need a moment. Yeah, so dizzy. It's important to keep track of everything. There is a file that is in the free folder, and it's to kind of track and outline your books, but it also has a thing where you can keep track of how many words you wrote that day. It also has like a calculator already set up into it where it tells you how many words you're writing per hour, per minute, and then per day on average, right? And so it's good to keep track of that, which allows you to keep track of your milestones. All these things are important. One of the reasons I do it is because if a client hires me to write a novel or a screenplay, or if they ask me to do a pitch deck or help them with a treatment, whatever the case may be, is I can look at all my clients and see exactly how long it took me to do those things. And I know what my average amount of time is going to be. Why is that important? Because inevitably they say, how long is this going to take? And I could say anywhere between this amount of time and that amount of time, unless there are, interruptions, or the client isn't going to be able to get me certain materials. For example, in a pitch deck, I need to know what actors you see in these roles. So it's your job to give me that information. So if you don't, I can't move forward with photos and putting them in the pitch deck. when it comes to the outline for a novel or a screenplay. If you can't meet and we can't discuss, or you don't have time to write down the information that explains what you have so far, then I can't take that story and help organize it. So, that will change it. But traditionally, if I keep track of my stuff, I know what my time, and that means I know how much I could charge for a package deal, or if I could do hourly. If it is hourly, I know exactly how much it's going to cost them on average. So tracking time is important. Also, if an agent picks you up and they go, "How long is it going to take you to write the next book?" You go, "Oh, I've been keeping track. This is how long it took me." And I kept track of each step. I have the brainstorming time, I have the writing time, I have the editing time, I have this time, blah, blah, blah. It's all important. Make it enjoyable. A writing routine doesn't have to feel like a chore. Find ways to make it enjoyable. Experiment with different techniques. Write scenes that excite you or reward yourself for reaching goals. The more enjoyable you can make the process, the more likely you are to stick with it. But remember, writing is ultimately a creative and fulfilling endeavor, so embrace the fun aspect and let that enthusiasm drive your routine. For me, when it comes to enjoying things, I like I like breaking a storyline. I like it to come together. I like when things fall into place. I like the little moments. So every time like I have these kind of that's what's writing stories and outlining and stuff does for me. I'm sure if you watch the live videos of me outlining, you can see that I'm enjoying myself. I could do that stuff all day. In fact, there have been times when I have, and I'm like, oh my god, 8 hours have passed because I just love tinkering. Some people like model airplanes. Well, the outline is a model airplane to me, and like how narrative works and how characters develop, and adding those little things that really build who these people are is just a wonderful experience. Final thoughts. Creating a writing routine that works for you is all about balance. It's finding the rhythm that suits your lifestyle, because some people have jobs, setting goals that are achievable without overwhelming yourself, and staying adaptable as you figure out what helps you thrive as a writer. With time, patience, and a willingness to experiment, you'll create a routine that will ultimately help you stay productive while also nurturing your creativity. Don't be afraid to think outside the box, as I say in every episode, because it's all about trying new approaches, embracing unconventional habits, and letting your creativity guide you. Remember, writing is a journey, and the routine that works best for you is the one that helps you discover your unique voice as a writer. It is not about following someone else's routine. These are just tips to help you discover what works best for you. But if someone says you need to do it this way, remember, no one does it identical. You're allowed to assimilate things into your works. Um, if you like the way one person does this one thing, do it. Somebody likes doing something else, do that. You can just take an amalgamation of things and make a routine that works for you. It doesn't mean you're failing because, oh, I couldn't do it exactly how so and so did it. Martin, R.R. Martin, he doesn't write books. Brandon Sanderson, I can't do it like he does. I can't stay up all night and write at 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Oh, I'm a failure. No, you find what works for you and you allow that to guide you. And remember, you could always change things up. Because most importantly, this whole thing is about having fun. It's creativity. It's fake. It's just we're being kids. You know what I'm saying? Like we're getting to use our imagination. All right. Never grow up. Okay. Everything you create is going to be made up no matter what. So just know that you can change and adapt everything you do. All right. Here we go. We're going to talk about the power of journaling for writers, okay, and how it really helps a writer open up and start doing things. Question: what are some habits or rituals that you have currently that help you create a writing routine that works for you? Let us know in the comments below. Helping the community, opening up dialogue. It really helps us develop ourselves. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out. Other than that, you know, other than that, keep developing the right mindset. I'll see you next time. Bye.